Good morning, Cardano Army. It's your boy Boomin coming at you with yet another video, guys. We're talking about ADA today. Let's get right into the show. So, Cardano XRP integration. Amazing. Amazing. I can't believe I'm saying that. Cardano founder Hoskinson says we can add amazing DeFi components to XRP. They can add liquidity, a wonderful stablecoin layer, RLUSD, and bridges definitely. It will be super cool to get Midnight working with XRP, which means private transactions on XRP powered by the Cardano network. Insane. Let's take a listen.
On what level do you think Cardano and XRP working together? I think we can add amazing DeFi components to XRP. I think they can add a lot of liquidity and they can add a wonderful stablecoin layer, bridges definitely, and it would be super cool to see if there's a path to get Midnight working with XRP. So we're meeting with David Schwartz here in a little bit. I've been texting him back and forth. His people are talking to my people. I sent him over some of our papers as well as the code for Midnight, and we'll see where that goes. But again, they're nice people, and I've known them forever, and it's nice to have them back in the family. And we're going to figure this out as a group. On what?
I love the collaboration. I love it. And this is what happens when, we get rid of tribalism. We all come together. I'm hoping that something big can come out of this, and I hope we can just expand the notoriety of Midnight. That is definitely my goal. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on. Real quick, just in, Bitcoiners are now able to stake ADA directly from their Bitcoin wallet. Crazy. Earn staking rewards in ADA, all thanks to Fluid tokens. So this is pretty awesome, guys. Let's take a look. I mean, there's really not much more to say. So you download the Xverse wallet. Really good wallet, by the way. Got Bitcoin and ADA in the Xverse wallet. Crazy. It looks like you could delegate your ADA directly from the Xverse wallet via Fluid tokens. This is freaking amazing, guys. The Bitcoin ADA connection is gonna be goated, guys. I love it. I love to see a plan come together. So as we can see here, this is how it's working. And now we can see the stake key, everything there. Connect your Fluid wallet, your Xverse wallet, and Fluid tokens you can stake directly. This is amazing. I love it. Let's go ahead and move on, guys, real quick here. So this is an amazing post. Cardano and Polkadot discovering governance and cross-chain opportunities. What happens when the two of the most advanced blockchain ecosystems meet? Opportunities ignite. Join the in-depth discussion on governance and interoperability live on X Wednesday, November 20th at 4 p.m. So I love Polkadot. Similar to Cardano, more on the ETH side, but still definitely similar to it. So definitely cross-chain opportunities here. Vechain, leader in cross-chain technology, made history by launching the first ever bridge connecting Cardano and Polkadot on July 27th. This isn't just a bridge, it's a pathway for collaboration and scalability. With over 35 connected networks in 6 years of proven uptime, Vechain is at the forefront of blockchain interoperability by integrating EVM and non-EVM chains. Vechain is turning the dream of a unified blockchain ecosystem into reality. So that's pretty cool, guys. If you want to learn more about that, again, live on next Wednesday, November 20th at 4 p.m. UTC. Let's go ahead and move on. All right, guys, so taking a look at Tap Tools here. Number one source for Cardano native tokens. Looks like we got 2 new meme coins here, guys, or 3 new meme coins here that have just been released. Looks like Snack has a little bit of competition. The volume for this sugar meme coin here is definitely pumping. Looks like people are aping into sugar. Hey, I think meme coins, guys, are going to be the NFTs of the last cycle. I truly do believe that. Let's take another look at sugar here. I don't know really what they're gonna do. You know, it's a meme coin. So if Cardano explodes like I think it can explode, then why not? You know, it can't hurt to double dip. It can't hurt to, you know, speculate a little bit if you have it. So what I recommend is that don't put in only put in what you're willing to lose on this. And we're still pretty early. It still has a pretty low market cap. So if like 10 million in market cap, where SNEC is at 219 million. So it has a lot of room to grow, you know, so a little bit now. If Cardano explodes to where I think it can explode, who knows, guys? Who knows? I can't read the future. If I could, I wouldn't be making these videos. Do your own research. And yeah, let's go ahead and move on, guys. Let's wrap things up here. So got a short video here. Got late game crypto. Meld holder here. He's going to explain what happened to Meld. Unfortunate. We're not going to play the whole video, but just a little short snippet here.
Which now I guess seems kind of pointless. So here we go. About 2 years ago, Meld discovered a vulnerability in the Cardano blockchain that specifically related to lending and borrowing protocols and other kinds of DeFi protocols sometimes. As many of you already know and have experienced, whenever the Cardano blockchain gets congested, transactions get queued and they just take a little bit longer to process. What Meld had discovered was that in the case of a massive sell-off event, like what we typically see at the end of a bull market or beginning of a bear market, same thing, I guess, what happens is it creates the possibility for bad debt that is enforced on-chain. You've got to remember that lending and borrowing protocols aren't like DEXs, where the price is determined by the actual trading activity that's happening in real time. On lending and borrowing protocols and other kinds of DeFi protocols, the price needs to be injected into it using an oracle and that determines the truth of what is acted upon on chain. So what can happen is the price might continue dropping on a protocol while a transaction had been submitted for a liquidation, and it might have been initiated at a time when the price was different, which means that the assets coming back to the lender in the case of a liquidation is not the actual amount of assets that they should be owed if the transaction was submitted in real time. In one scenario, this could be extremely bad for lenders in the case that they're getting back less assets than what they should actually be owed because of the lag of the transaction execution. It's additional risk that lenders and liquidity providers have to take on. In another scenario, this could be catastrophic for DeFi protocols, especially if they're dealing with pooled lending and borrowing, because there is a potential where if there is a misalignment with the price that's supposed to be executed, then a lender could be getting back a lot more than what they're actually owed, which creates a big problem for future liquidations that might be happening after that transaction is executed. A lot of smarter people had already determined that this was probably the reason that Meld wasn't launching their lending and borrowing protocols on the Cardano blockchain. But for those of you that weren't aware of it, that would be why. And this is not as big of an issue in the Cardano ecosystem as it used to be at the time, because the throughput has been through a couple of rounds of upgrades on the Cardano ecosystem, and right now there's 101 scaling solutions being developed that's right on the horizon in Cardano. But at the time, that wasn't the case. There wasn't any visible solution to the issue, which is what made Meld uncomfortable. I mean, there was a little bit of hope because it was looking like they could figure out a solution with a collaboration between Meld and IOHK, which, for those of you that might have been paying attention at the time, you know that nothing really came out of that. The reason that nothing came out of this collaboration was because there was kind of a misunderstanding between the expectations of what this collaboration would look like. Meld was under the impression that they would be able to play a more supportive role in this situation, maybe help to do some research, maybe help to implement some things, and share their findings with IOHK. Now, apparently, from my limited understanding of what went down exactly, IO's expectation was kind of the exact reverse of that. They thought that they might be the ones that had the more hands-off approach on the situation, and Meld would be the one leading the charge. Now, I think it's completely fair to say that Meld genuinely wanted to help in this situation. They wanted to help be a part of the solution, but they couldn't really commit any substantial resources into developing this project that didn't really create any sustainable revenue for them as a business. Obviously, in retrospect, if we could turn back time and, encourage them to make different decisions, I think the obvious thing to do would have been to just not worry so much about the risk and launch on Cardano anyways. But at the time, it definitely felt like a responsible decision for anybody that was aware of what was going on. At the same time that all of this was happening, Meld was in talks with Avalanche and being sold on their Avalanche subnet technology. The Cardano community did not take this very well, and it added fuel to the hate against this project on the Cardano side of things because it felt like abandonment. I can understand how people felt that way, especially from the outside. As a Cardano content creator, I was disappointed about it as well, but having known all of the factors at the time, Meld had been around for 2 years and had no way in sight that was immediate to actually generate any revenue as a business. So you can imagine how desperate that they were feeling at that time to look for an immediate solution. And, a lot of the people out there in the community right now are coming out and saying, see, I told you so, and this project was obviously a scam, and that's just not productive discourse. I don't see anything there that we can actually learn from. Here's what actually happened, and this is from my point of view. If you're just looking for something practical that you can take away, I think that my insights can provide something. Over the course of the next couple of years, Meld started over after having built out an entire protocol to completion for the Cardano side of things. They started over and they built out in the Avalanche ecosystem. They got screwed over by a huge business deal that was supposed to help drive them forward, and they backed out at the last minute. And when it was finally time to come to launch their products, they had a lot of signups for people that are wanting to get involved with the ecosystem, but only a few people that were actually using it when it went live. In retrospect, yeah, I guess it kind of makes some sense that it did end up going down this way. Even though it was looking optimistic, there was an airdrop campaign that was involved in marketing the launch of this ecosystem. But when that is the case, you're inevitably going to get people that are just interested in free money from a token airdrop. And that's what happened here. There's a lot of regrets at this moment, but I wish that I would have recognized this sooner, that building on the Avalanche subnet actually doesn't translate like you would think to being within the Avalanche ecosystem. Even if you held Meld on the Avalanche blockchain, you still would have had to bridge into the Meld subnet ecosystem in order to interact with Meld's DeFi protocols, which is just another barrier to entry. So despite over 100,000 signups for the Meld ecosystem to get early access, Meld wasn't actually in a position to generate any substantial revenue, and having bridges to Cardano, Avalanche, Ethereum, and Bitcoin did absolutely nothing for them. I think the moment that they put their primary method of revenue generation on the Avalanche subnet without a unique value proposition to encourage people to bridge over to the ecosystem, they effectively started suffocating their business. Now, that's how things looked on the revenue generating side of the business. Obviously very bleak, but on the other side of it, and then by that I mean the business spending side of the company, Meld's burn rate, I think, was, obviously, way higher than it should have been. This is kind of a difficult problem to analyze without any transparent financials in front of us, but I don't think Meld really held back in any areas of spending. I realize that may be kind of a weird thing to criticize it for, but every startup that I have worked with in this space up to this point, that I've had the privilege of interacting with and getting some insights into, they have all operated hyper efficiently. Some common elements that I see is that everybody in the company gets paid noticeably below market value. The budget is stripped down to only the essentials, the immediate essentials, and ideally the team consists of people that are very passionate about the vision of the company. Throughout the life of Meld up to this point, I never really felt like they held back on anything. I mean, Meld's marketing was always in full swing from the very beginning. We saw Meld on frickin' buses. We saw Meld in magazines. We saw Meld being mentioned by some of the top KOLs in the industry. And that's just a lot for where they were actually at in the development of the project. And let me make sure I'm being completely clear here. Marketing itself isn't a bad thing, but it does have to translate to some kind of revenue generation, and preferably in a way that actually creates some value. For a lot of companies, it's like creating a product that people can pay for, or an ecosystem that people can interact with. And with Meld, those things just hadn't really existed until maybe a couple of months ago. At most points in time